Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Goldstein. I'm the president of the Municipal Art Society of New York, and I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you for being here. This gathering is a cherished annual opportunity to recognize and appreciate the individuals whose innovative work shapes the future of our city. Since its inception in 2001, the MASterworks Awards have honored projects completed in the previous year that exemplify outstanding architecture and urban design. The 2024 MASterworks Award recipients represent not only exciting new developments, but also significant enhancements to our city's built environment. It's a privilege to celebrate some of the most inspiring projects of New York City that we're seeing in 2023. Founded in 1893, MAS has witnessed the city evolve in ways that our founders could hardly have imagined. Yet the principles that guided them still resonate strongly in our mission today. We strive to preserve New York City as a welcoming space for innovation, nurturing artists, entrepreneurs, and social visionaries, while also honoring our rich history and our collective narratives. Today we will honor each of our exceptional recipients, but I want to take a moment to acknowledge all of you for your contributions. It's inspiring to witness the commitment of our awardees to enhancing civic life in New York City. Each year we consistently find projects that enrich our community, make it more livable and equitable and resilient. And this year's group of MASterworks Honorees is no exception. Congratulations to all of you. Before we dive into the specific 2024 MASterworks Award, I want to share a brief overview of today's event. For the first half of this event, representatives from each project will come to the podium and share some of their unique stories along with visuals that highlight the remarkable achievements that made them stand out as the top architecture and design projects of 2023. After this, we'll move next door and have a chance to connect and enjoy some delicious offerings from a few of Market 57's wonderful restaurants. I also want to especially thank Pier 57, the winner of the 2024 MASterworks for Best Adaptive Reuse, and the James Beard Foundation for hosting us today. We're very appreciative of being in this extraordinary space with this very unusual New York City view. And now please join me in welcoming 2024 MASterworks jury member and MAS board member Susan Hickson-Carling, who will present our first award.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to see everyone here. Thank you, Elizabeth. This year, we had an exceptional range of nominees, making our evaluation both challenging, but very exhilarating. And congratulations to each of you. Your projects truly embody excellence in architecture and urban design and have significantly enriched our urban landscape. I want to thank my fellow jury members who dedicated their time, talent, and expertise to selecting this year's honorees. Julia Gambolina, is founder and editor-in-chief of MADAMArchitect.org. Walter Rodriguez, Mayor, Principal, Local Office, Landscape and Urban Design, and Roberta Washington, Principal of Roberta Washington Architects. Just as a personal note, it was wonderful to work with the fellow jurors, and your projects were amazing. It was a very difficult decision. We're delighted to have Walter here, who will be helping us give out the awards today. And now it's my pleasure to present the first award. The 2024 MASterworks Award for Best New Building to Far Rockaway Library. This striking new the striking new facility, the original replaces the original library with a stunning 18,000 square foot design, offering a welcoming space for learning and community engagement. Enhanced by the artistic vision of Brooklyn-based artist Jose Parla, The library not only serves as a vital resource for the community, but also stands as a beacon of resilience and creativity in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. So please welcome Craig Dykert, founding partner at Snowhetta, to accept the 2024 MASterworks Award for Best New Building.
Thanks. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you all. And a particular thank you to the MASterworks Society for having us here today. We're especially proud, not just for having our Far Rockaway Library recognized, but of course the work that we also did on 550 Madison that you'll hear more about in a moment, but it's an incredible day for us. I would very much like to thank the team that has worked on this project. It was quite a significant group of people, and certainly Queens Library, who supported the project throughout, the people of Far Rockaway who invested their time to talk to us throughout the project, and the artist Jose Parla, who's down in Miami today, wishes he could be here, who helped develop the facade with us. And I also want to, of course, thank the DDC who helped us develop the project throughout. It started in 2012, so but we stuck with it, everybody stuck with it. It was started under the Bloomberg administration, and actually David Burney with the DDC at that time. When we began the project, we learned that Far Rockaway had an amazing history. The high school in Far Rockaway had produced 5 Nobel Prize winners in the 1950s and 1960s. Remarkable. And then, unfortunately, under subsequent administrations, certainly having to do with some of Robert Moses' planning, the neighborhood was suddenly became under-resourced and relegated to the fringes of society. Air conditioning helped ruin a bit of Far Rockaway. It used to be the place where people in Manhattan went to cool off. And after air conditioning, they decided they didn't want to go there anymore. So the city lost a bit of its luster. It became rather significant in terms of crime. When we arrived, there was constantly an issue that we had to be careful of while we were working there. Sandy came along and did a tremendous amount of devastation to the entire community there. However, what we did learn is that they are incredibly proud people in Far Rockaway. They love their town. They love to be there. They put up with quite a lot to live there. And the Queens Library resource gave them a new kind of direction that came through with the DDC choice of us for the work. We're very happy that the project wasn't overlooked because it's pretty far away. I think it's faster to fly to the Bahamas than it is to drive to Far Rockaway. So, if you've ever had a horrible trip to JFK, just add another 30 minutes to that. It's rather tough. But what is wonderful about the project is it has kicked in a rather significant revival of the community. When we had the opening day that DDC hosted, it was just a beautiful event, and people felt so good about it. So I definitely want to say thank you for MAS to not have overlooked this fringe of the city. And there are many fringes in the city that need projects like this. And to work with this type of project, and then also to work in the heart of Midtown Manhattan, gives us a wonderful feeling of spectrum. I'll stop by reading you a piece of a poem that inspired us when we were designing this project way back in 2012. It's by the poet Lawrence Ferlinghetti, who's from San Francisco, wonderful poet. He wrote a poem called A Far Rockaway of the Heart back in 1998. And the words are, "But no matter where I wandered off the chart, I still would find love again, that lost locality, where I might catch once more a Sunday subway for some far Rockaway of the heart." So it's dedicated to them. Thank you very much. That's the project. It's better to spend the 2 hours to go out there and see it. And then I'll get it to the end. What do I do? Do more pictures? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So now it's my honor to present the award for Best Urban Landscape to Beach 98 Playground. This beautifully designed playground transforms the Rockaway Boardwalk, providing a dynamic space for children and families to enjoy, with features like play equipment, shade structures, and a salt-tolerant landscaping. This project not only enhances community livability, but also embodies the spirit of recovery following Hurricane Sandy. So please welcome me to announcing Adrian Hayes, landscape architect at New York City Parks, to accept the 2024 MASterworks Award for Best Urban Landscape.
Get them all done. So I'll just set this here for a moment. Good to see everyone. Good morning. How are you? What's up? All right. Did prepare. I was gonna wing it, but then I decided to write this. I was gonna say, I did that. Yeah, I kind of do. So. Thank you all so much. This is really an honor. I want to start by thanking MAS for providing this opportunity and for recognizing projects that are making a difference in our city. And I also want to thank NYC Parks for its support and for the opportunity to be part of positive change in our city's communities. I'd like to also thank my amazing and supportive wife, Farah, who is a staunch supporter of and participant in working for the public good and holds the work that we do in very high esteem. So, as I'm sure everyone here knows, design is always the culmination of countless different factors and experiences. The people we talk to, the details we notice, the other professionals who are involved along the way. They all play a huge part in making what it becomes. They're sort of like jigsaw puzzles. Occasionally you get one that has those giant pieces and like a distinctly understandable image, but then more often you get the polar bear in a snowstorm type, where everything that's there sort of looks like itself. And there's always pieces that other people have put there before you came. And then there's also the ones that you're already holding in your hand that you're hoping to find a place for too. Right? So for this project, the pieces I held came from a number of things. It came from my own experience as a fifth-generation Texan, figuring out how to acclimate to New York, from being a father of 3 New Yorkers now, from my education at City College, where I did my master's thesis on, get this, the eventual impact of a hurricane on New York City, which I predicted would be about 2013. So I was a little off. But this was, and then from my experience going to every corner of Rockaway as part of the storm recovery unit at New York City Parks. So I brought all those things, and it's particularly gratifying for me that I got the opportunity to work on this project, because not only am I happy with the way it came out, but for what it will bring to this community, and it holds a lot of meaning for me. As for the design, this is one of the best, I'll just leave it here for now, especially since I don't know which thing advances it. As for design, that one, thank you. In addition to discovering what the overall shape would be, there were certain things I really wanted to do that seemed at odds with the space. One of the things I noticed during my time visiting all the boardwalk playgrounds after Sandy was that you could be in the spaces and right next to the ocean, but you don't see the ocean. You don't feel the ocean. I mean, maybe you hear it, but you couldn't see it because the boardwalk is in construction right there, and we're so close. And so that stuck with me, and that seemed like a shame. So one of the main things I was hoping to accomplish, in addition to creating dynamic space for all ages, was to provide a way for park users to, especially children, to connect with their surroundings in a fun and hopefully surprising way. So, and use that tool that Japanese landscape design has done for so long of borrowing a little scenery. And instead of giving people sneak peeks at Mount Fuji, they're getting to use Rockaway Beach and the Atlantic. So, and you get a nice little surprise, one little hidden feature that's on the swings. The swings are actually up at a higher level, so you can't see the beach until you really kind of get it. You kind of really got to lean into it, and then you break that plane and you can see the beach and the ocean. And so, but that's back to being dad. Like, you want your kids to kind of push themselves a little bit, they get that little payoff. So, another driving force of the design was anyone using the park should be able to engage with the play elements as well as that experience of seeing the ocean in the same way. So it was important that the grade change be accessible, play be inclusive, and finding the space to create 5 feet of grade change and a 30-foot wide site was challenging. But the sloping perimeter pathways that hugged each individual space ended up being the key to that, and sort of creating this gradual reveal as we move through the site from a pivoting perspective. So, all just to say that I'm very happy with the way the pieces all fit together on this one. It seems like other people are too. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the supportive team leadership that I had all along the way that shepherded everything through. It takes a lot to make a New York City park and get through all the hurdles, and any design for that matter, as you all know. So please do go check out not only this space, but this was part of a whole necklace of jewels along the Rockaway Boardwalk and through Rockaway after Sandy. There's so much great stuff for you to see out there. So many other really talented designers on the team did a great job with all the areas around there in the boardwalk. So I really recommend that you, when you're on your way to check out the library, that you also check out all the parks and play spaces and maybe take your swimsuit. Thank you very much.
And now I'm excited to present the award for Best Restoration to 550 Madison. This iconic Midtown landmark has undergone a remarkable transformation, revitalizing its historic essence while introducing modern amenities. The restoration has breathed new life into this architectural gem, creating a welcoming public garden and a vibrant ground floor that invites the community in. Please welcome Eric Horvath from Global Co-Head of Real Estate for the Olean Group to accept the 2024 MASterworks Award for Best Restoration.
Yeah, in school.
In school, right? So Craig worked on this with us. It's really important building to people in the community. But as we started thinking about the design and the restoration and our initial ideas, we just gained a deeper appreciation for just how important the asset was as an architectural masterpiece and the love like every New Yorker had for it. So, it's not lost upon me. It's behind Jimmy Fallon every night on the Tonight Show. I took my daughter to Legoland. There's a gigantic 15-foot version of it. I don't know how many Legos there are. She asked me, but I don't recall. And then actually we won an award from the Urban Land Institute, if you're familiar with that organization, and it was in Las Vegas this year. And they actually built one out of playing cards, out of decks of cards. It was like 12 feet tall. I tried to get the photo, I couldn't add it fast enough because it was last week. But you don't do that for an everyday run-of-the-mill building. You do that for something that's truly, an iconic office tower. So given the love so many expressed, we actually proactively embraced that. So I came to MAS, some may recall, and presented this plan to you along with others to tell you what we were thinking, where we wanted to go. Thank you for the feedback. We also did that with the Landmarks Preservation Commission, Department of City Planning, Community Board 5, and even John Verdeep we talked to about this to get his feedback and guidance, which I think was great. And the goal was to refine the building and make it special, but and respect the heritage of it, but let it compete with One Vanderbilt or Hudson Yards, not just accept mediocrity. So, we're really proud of the result, and just to give a little kudos, the extraordinary design team who worked on this. First, Craig, you're honored for 2 today, but for 550 Madison, really thoughtful garden, beautiful, also tasteful interventions at the base while respecting it. Rockwell Group, we have somebody here from Rockwell as well. Their hospitality focus is a way people can live today. And they also did it in a way, and people were fearful, but it just perfectly frames Dorothea Rockburn's in place murals, which are just beautiful. And lastly, the Gensler worked on this at the base. They did a glorious lobby. And there's another piece of art called Solid Sky by Alicia Quato. It's a 50,000-pound sculpture, so if you get a chance to visit the lobby, please do. So in addition to the awards and things we've received there, we also received LEED, Platinum, and WELL Gold certifications, which I believe, and Landmarks probably is here, they can correct this, but I believe we're the only landmark office building in the entire city that can claim that level of sustainability for an older building. And just, good rain. Just a quick second on the garden. We have this half-acre public garden. There's thousands of plants. There's kiosks. There's a waterfall that we built. There's, which we're really proud of, gender-inclusive public restrooms, which is amazing, and I haven't been done either before in a true public setting. And the most important thing is there's visitors, and Beth and I, who's from Olean here with me, who worked on this, often go there just loving the fact we see these people enjoying that being used. So I just want to say it's not a place strictly for office users. It does help bring people back, and the tenants want it, and it's an amenity to them. But it also is for all New Yorkers and for visitors as an oasis in the middle of a city. And the very last thing I'd say is, we have an office building, and everybody knows what happened with COVID. And there was a moment in time where we had no occupancy whatsoever. We owned a very expensive, beautiful building that wasn't, generating any economic value, although architecturally significant. Now, we're just very happy that we're 90% leased. We have, some of the best tenants in the world, and hopefully it's a model for how older office buildings can not only just survive, but thrive, going forward. So with that, I just say, please come to the garden and visit us. We'd love to see you sometime soon.
Hello, I'm Walter Rodriguez-Meyer, Principal of Local Office Landscape and Urban Design and Professor at Stanford University here in New York. I'm pleased to present the 2024 MASterworks Award for the Best Adaptive Reuse here at Pier 57. This ambitious project exemplifies the successful collaboration between the Hudson River Park Trust and various partners, transforming a once derelict pier into a vibrant mixed-use space. The new public rooftop park, alongside diverse community spaces and commercial offerings, reimagines the waterfront experience and honors the site's rich history. Please welcome Maureen Doyle, President and Chief Executive Officer of Hudson River Park Trust, and John Ambrosini, Senior Property Manager at RXR.
Thank you. Thank you to the Municipal Art Society, thanks to our partners, and there are many, for this amazing project. So as you heard, or might guess, I'm Noreen Doyle. I'm the public side of the public-private partnership that is Pier 57. And I think that as magnificent as Pier 57 is, and as important as its contributions to public open space and the economy, frankly, are, and the amenities for our visitors are, it's also important for you to understand that Pier 57 has a bigger public benefit than just the pier. Pier 57 is part of the 4-mile-long Hudson River Park, and the rent that our private sector partners helps pay all of our public park bills. That's the model that Hudson River Park has. So it's Pier 57 compounded when you hear this. We beat the record for the Far Rockaway Library. We started this in the early 2000s. This was a bus depot, an active New York City Transit bus depot when Hudson River Park was created. Buses had to go away, 2 changes of the state law, full-on unanimous ULURP for a project this big, which is pretty impressive, and very intense in water regulatory permitting. And it only is possible because we had such great private sector partners and design team who took the historic fabric of this pier seriously and who took the public contributions seriously. So I'll let John speak in a minute, but RXR, Young Woo, Google, Jamestown, James Beard Foundation, and Michael Dorf. These are our private sector partners. We're very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I'm committed to actually shifting these slides. Which one is it? Great. All right, this is a beautiful view of the rooftop park. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, MAS, for the honor of having this award. I'm very, very proud of the public-private partnership that Maureen talked about. On behalf of RXR and Scott Reckler and Bill Elder, who oversaw the project, and the entire RXR team and our partners, Young Woo as well, I'm honored to accept this award. It was a combination of hundreds and sometimes thousands of people. At one point, we had over 750 contractors here working, and that was during COVID, which is a pretty amazing thing. And I don't want to do a weave like Trump does, but I will say, oh wow, I guess we don't have a lot of trumpets here. I'm not one of them. Just to be clear. During COVID, it was very interesting because everyone was at home, which was a wonderful thing for the office workers. However, the contractors tended to work all as a team. So you had the welders here and the plumbers here, and then they would have coffee together. And so what you'd end up getting is the entire welding team is out with COVID for this week. So the project was delayed. But I want to thank the many, many team members that were part of this. So we have Sarah and Rick from Hendel, Gary Hendel, and the Hendel team are the architect of record, Cosentinius engineer of record. We had, for Google, Diller, Scofidio, and Renfro. I don't know if we have anybody here from DSR, but they did an amazing job. This is a $1 billion project if you add it all up with the funding that RXR and partners put in place, with Google spent here, what Jamestown and S9 did here, what Michael Dorf did here. It's an extraordinary gift to the public, with a public park that has 2.5 acres. We have a public living room where people can come here 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. and not spend a dime. We want them to spend a dime, but they can buy a coffee, use the free Wi-Fi that we offer, and they can be here from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. 7 days a week. That's kind of a remarkable thing. We have our Art Deco sign here. This was the Marine and Aviation Department that built this. I'll just say a little bit. This is our marketplace. What's remarkable about this building is that, and the reason that it's on the National and State Register of Historic Places, is that it's floating on caissons. So a little bit of the story here. Right now you are floating. 90% of the dynamic loading is supported by the buoyancy of the Hudson River. So what happened in 1950, well, the original pier was built in 1907, and sadly there was a fire. It was a standard timber creosote coated pile system. It was a very bad fire in 1947, and a few years later, Emil Prager, who was a Navy architect and captain in the Navy, he designed the breakwaters that were used to storm Normandy in World War II. So that idea came here, let's create an indestructible fireproof pier, and here we are 70 years later, these concrete boxes, 400 foot long, 80 foot wide, 30 foot tall, 2 and 3 feet thick, is what is in place here. They were built in Harrisburg, New York, floated down the Hudson River, and concrete floats if you put enough air into it. And these 6-sided boxes were put in place, flooded, sunk in place, and then a 5-story building was built on top. So kind of a cool history here. You can Google that, you can look into the history of it, but we are very, very proud of what's been done here. This is a little bit of the DSR work. What you see here is when you go up to the rooftop today, too, these are skylights that Google put in place, and their reception area is, this is actually looking at 11th Avenue, and the ramp that comes up used to be used for the trucks that would deliver and bring people up into, the people would drive their cars up into this area and park. And this was when it was a shipping pier. The adaptive reuse part of this award is that we used all of this structure and created something absolutely beautiful. And these are the skylights. Melk did all of the design here. Stephen Governor built it. And these are the bulkheads that house the staircases to take the 2,500 people that can occupy the rooftop down safely to the street. And these are those skylights that you saw under there. I just want to thank everybody who's been a partner here. I hope I didn't leave anybody out. Michael Dorff and Jamestown, and we have a parking garage here, so we've got a parking garage. We're building a mezcal and tequila bar just down here, so in about 3 weeks from now, you can, while the kids are learning about hammerheads across the street, across the hallway in the discovery tank that HRPT has, the parents can be up. So it's kind of a good deal, a win-win situation for everybody. Thank you very much.
Really excited about this one. One of my mentors. Delighted to present the award for the best new infrastructure to East Midtown Greenway and Andrew Haswell Green Park Phase 2B. This transformative project fills a critical gap in Manhattan's waterfront, creating a beautifully designed space that integrates native plants and public amenities by providing new access to the East River. This greenway enhances both mobility and community connection to nature. Please welcome Donna Walkavich, Principal Landscape Architect at Stantec, to accept the 2024 MASterworks Award for the Best New Infrastructure.
Thanks, Mark.
We get 2 of these. Well, thank you very much. We're really happy to have the adjacent projects recognized as infrastructure. We both believe that infrastructure should be beautiful and should do more and go beyond utility to create and spaces that enrich our lives. We all know the expression, it takes a village. Well, in this case, it takes a city. I can't tell you how long the list of agencies who had approved and permit these projects but it is very long. It also takes decades. The East Midtown Greenway project began in the early 90s when Mayor Deakins promoted the idea of a greenway and esplanade that would encircle Manhattan. While some parts of the bikeway were easy enough, in this area from the UN to 60th Street, there's no land on the other side of the FDR. So you see in some of the photos, you can see the FDR in the background. So the idea of creating a bikeway and esplanade on an outdoor structure was conceived. Now the master plan for the bikeway on the east side started in 1995. And since I worked on that project and all the subsequent phases, I've got news for Craig, Maureen, 29 years, I don't think you I want to acknowledge our clients for the project, New York City Economic Development Corporation, who worked on it all those 3 decades as well, and New York City Parks, who worked with us throughout the design and the construction process, and who will maintain the greenway and the park. Lang will tell you about the most northern section of the project, ending as Green Park, which is in this slide, up on this end of the project, here.
So thank you all for this recognition. We submitted these two together because they ended up, we were ahead. Our project was funded first before the greenway, but as we were nearing the bid phase, it became very evident how much the two had to be linked as a construction process. So I want to recognize our team that helped us do the engineering, Ms. Jacobs Engineering, Abel Dainson and Butts was our landscape architect, Aaron Goldstick, lighting designers, and of course our design was the implementation phase of the design previously put together by the New York City Parks Department. EDC was integral. They were the ones who recognized the benefit of tying these two projects together, and Skanska was the contractor that built it. Our project was rehabilitating infrastructure that's originally built by for the Department of Sanitation. Our site, which is where this banked garden is, was at once used as a heliport. It was moved down to 34th Street. So this is really a transformation of sort of leftover industrial space for public use, and it creates the linkage towards the north, the Esplanade, and down to this wonderful It required a whole new structural marine structure built in this area here. We stepped it up to create this link. We also removed significant amount of concrete parapets so that as you walk up the ramp, there were these 180-degree views of the river between north and south in terms of opposing lighting. Anyway, it's a pleasure to work on this. We really recognition.
And we're very thankful, every landscape architect in the room will understand, we're very thankful that our project got built first and then nobody could access it. Because it gave the plants a chance to grow without being problems. Every project should be like that. My colleagues at Stantec have graciously allowed me up here to take the bow. But joining me today are Gentry Locke, who managed the design and the collaboration process, and Nicola Grosso, who is the project manager. Amy, I'm not sure if Amy is here. There she is, who was the lead designer, lead landscape architect for the project. What Amy would tell you, if it was she who was up there, is that she worked, where is the little, this one? Okay, is that she worked very hard to diversify a 40-foot wide ribbon of concrete to create varied spaces. This included varying the line of the edge of the pedestrian area, so that it would, wiggle. There's an area called wiggle benches, so they didn't form a straight edge, and that each of the seating areas had slightly different view of the water and Queens and Roosevelt Island. It also meant subtle changes in the elevation between the bikeway and the esplanade, from being the same level in one spot to becoming a bicycle overlook, which allows cyclists to pull off and look out over the view of the heads of the people on the pedestrian path. Just got to thank you very much. She also came up with very native plant groups throughout the length of the esplanade, so there are subtle differences that you will notice as you go along, and of course, subtle differences all throughout the seasons. She worked very closely with the engineers to find creative ways to get enough topsoil to support tree growth and to capture all the rainfall runoff. And with this lovely weather has also come a drought, so we have our fingers crossed that those trees will continue to do well. As I said, it takes a city, and the design and construction team is no exception. It's a very long list, but I do want to point out two of the members who are here today. One is Miguel, who designed the pedestrian bridge, and we have to get that, that crosses the FDR to get at 54th Street. This is the bicycle overlook. And Stacy Levy, the public artist, who designed diatom lace. The beautiful bas-relief pavers are based on diatoms that are the basis of the East River ecosystem. So this is a completely public space. It's impossible to show half a mile in 5 slides. So I hope you will all go there and see it for yourself. And thank you to MAS again for honoring our joint projects.
Great.
Okay. I am Roberta Washington this afternoon. Or not, but she was a very valued member of this, of the jury this year, and I'm really thrilled to present the best new urban amenity to Bronx Point. This transformative mixed-use project not only brings affordable housing to the South Bronx, this project is 100% affordable housing, but also creates a vibrant waterfront esplanade. This is a vital addition to the neighborhood that prioritizes both livability and ecological sustainability, and will house the Hip Hop Museum when it's completed. Please welcome Vidal Rivera Diaz, partner at Marvel, and Annie Tershwell, a partner at Type A Projects, to accept the 2024 MASterworks Awards for Best New Urban Amenity.
I wasn't going to write anything, I just wrote some notes so that I make sure that I don't miss anything. First of all, thank you to the Municipal Art Society for recognizing this project as the next best urban amenity in New York City. I mean, I think that's a big title. And we are very proud of it, and we are very proud that this is a project that is in the Bronx. I think it's the first project in the Bronx, maybe one that we've seen tonight. And I feel proud of that because I think it's a community that we needed a space like this and a recognition, of really truly high quality open space in a neighborhood that is often neglected, right? So, Bronx Point is a project that was for the community, and it was designed by the community. through a very extensive community engagement process that we're very proud of, and that partner here at Type A Projects spearheaded and instigated, and I think it was a great example of like how planning development can be done in a neighborhood like this one in the Bronx, but I think throughout the city. So I want to recognize the huge initiative that the city took in a project like this, led by New York City EDC, partnered with Parks, New York City Parks, the Department of City Planning was involved, DEP, DEC, the village, or the city, was also involved. The whole city was involved in this project, and elected officials as well. And they put together a really great request for proposal, and more than that, they were able to select a really great team that was able to bring together the Bronx, the community, into the process. So I think that's great. So I want to thank also L&M development partners on Type A projects, and the projects which you will talk a little bit after me. But WBE development group that's doing great work with communities throughout New York City. They were the ones that said, okay, here is the team, here are the community groups, here are the people that we need to bring along in the process, here is how we want to do this community engagement process, which took like over 25 meetings, met with the community board. I want to thank the community board 4, right, in the Bronx, who came with us along the way to actually define a space that was for the community. So what does this project do? Was mentioned 100% affordability, affordable housing building that has great cultural amenities at the ground base. Yeah, click. Yes, all right. No order to the slides, what I'm saying, but we'll click through them. 100% affordability, great cultural institutions, bringing organizations like the Hip Hop Museum into the building, puts the Bronx and this neighborhood not only elevates this important cultural asset in the neighborhood, but it sort of puts them a dot in the map, in the world map, where people are going to come and visit this sort of great thing that came out of this neighborhood. And then the open space, right? So as we went along in the process, we heard from the community, and the project transformed, the design transformed into exactly what the community asked for. They wanted more open access to the waterfront for a site that was completely locked from access. They wanted more vegetation, more green space, native vegetation, flood resiliency. We raised the elevation of the site so that we can be outside of the floodplain. A huge playground that became the central feature of the park extension. That offers play for different age groups, different age kids' abilities, and adults and whatnot to come together and play. An extension of a barbecue area that existed in this park is adjacent to Milpont Park, and it extends Milpont Park south. So there were amenities that they loved there, and we improved them, expanded them, made them better. So I'm gonna maybe stop here to talk about the features of the site, but because I wanna give Annie some time to talk, because I wanna thank you. I think that the process that you laid out for us from the beginning has inspired us. It has inspired me personally. I think that since that project went on, every time I approach a project, I approach it in a very similar way, very conscious of the community that I'm working with and the process that I'm laying out, and to listen and to truly understand that, great things come when you actually sit with the community, discuss, talk, and transform that into a design. So thank you very much.
I would only add, because you really hit all of the high points, that the community engagement process was fearless. Many developers are very scared to ask the communities they work in what they think and what they want. We asked and we asked again, and we grappled together when we couldn't provide the one or two things that we couldn't work into the plan, which was actually direct access to the waterfront with boats, which
didn't move here because there's a train line that runs along the Harlem River that brings the garbage out of the Bronx twice a week, and we couldn't, that was insurmountable for us. So for everyone in the room who does community engagement or is scared of it, early, often, and relentless, I think was our strategy. The one thing I would also add is that the quality of design is pretty amazing and unparalleled, certainly in the Bronx. So you guys have a lot of traveling to do, but after the Rockaways, if you come to the Bronx, I think you'll see not only did we build this amenity, but it is of the highest quality of design and is incredibly meaningful and a part of the city that is often overlooked, both for services and quality of design. S9 is the architect who built the building, and with Marvel really at their direction, enabled us in ABB, was our worked side by side with Marvel to not just envision but also document the work of the waterfront, also a million agencies. The thing I was going to say is, gosh, no, I can't remember what I was going to say. So I'll just leave it there, but it is an incredible project, and we're really proud of it, and we're thankful to the Municipal Art Society for recognizing it.
I hail from the Bronx, as some of you may know. It is definitely a Bronx I did not grow up in. And for the last award of the day, it's my honor to present the Best Environmental Innovation Award to the Inwood Hill Nature Center. This is the first time we've ever given this award, and I'm just delighted to come to this project. This project has reimagined the center to enhance its capacity for daily educational use. Sorry, I realized that I was in the line. Too bad enhancing thing I was supposed to do. These are stunning pictures. Stunning as well. The thoughtful design not only addresses the needs of the community, but also fortifies the building against future environmental challenges, ensuring its role as an education hub for generations to come. Please welcome Rebecca Barnes and Israel Aaron Thal, sorry, from the New York City Parks Department to accept the 2024 MASterworks for Best Environmental So we
Yeah, sure. Well, sure.
You're supposed to be in the center. I'll hold on tight for you.
Hi. It's nice to see everybody. I know a lot of people who work together in this room, but first, of course, we'll thank the Municipal Art Society for including our little tiny project all the way at the top of Manhattan. Actually, it's a part of Manhattan that was actually part of the Bronx at one time until they redid the river up there, the channel up there. This is a very special project for us because we did, even though we love all of our consultants, because I see a lot of them in the room, this is an all in-house parks project, including design and our construction team that's here. Anyway, just wanted to thank them, which is Israel's here, but Mark and Lorenzo are here, and the rest of our team, our leadership, and all of our people on the other side, what we call the landscape architects, and us working together. We had some great landscape architects working on this project, Ricardo and Alex. And just to step back a little bit, this building was originally built as a canoe building, and in about the 90s, they changed it into a nature center. But when Sandy came, they completely flooded it and basically closed the doors for a very long time. And many of you probably know here, working with FEMA dollars is challenging, and with the city requirements. So it took a while, but we got there. And it's now reopened. And when we went the other day, it was just really beautiful to see the public, urban park rangers back in. I don't know how much programming you know that the urban park rangers do for our city. It's pretty amazing. They run a lot of school age programming out of this nature center. They do canoeing, they do camping, they do very interactive stuff that Israel and I really sort of stood back and allowed the urban park rangers to do their thing. So with this building, it's very simple, it's very set back and allows the park rangers and the landscape, which is gorgeous there. You really should get up to Inwood Hill, especially at this time of year with the fall foliage, to stand out. One of the challenges we have at the Parks Department is we own a lot of waterfront property. And so you can imagine it's very hard to make that resilient, as a lot of people have already talked about here. So for us, we had to keep this building at the location, we couldn't raise it. So we chose made very simple decisions of just things of bringing the mechanical systems up to the roof, using resilient material, and allowing, if there is flooding in the future, that it could be up and running very quickly instead of being shuttered for as long as it had been. So that's all I have, and I just want to say thank you to everybody, and I don't know if Israel wants to say anything or if you're going to be shy. So that's the Rangers in there. Was that our visit? So it was very nice that, Israel and I went up and to talk about it, but I think is that the picture of him taking the snake out, and that kind of got overshadowed by that. And it seems such a beautiful. One of the things is that the whole back of the building is open to the Inwood Hill, which is just so gorgeous and worth going and checking out. So thank you. Say anything, Israel?
Yes, thank you very much. I just wanted to say I would be remiss if I didn't mention Higgins Place Farm and what they did. Sarah, Sherry's here, and Cass Stackenberg did a great job. The historic tax credits, north of $60 million, is an enticement, an incentive for a public-private partnership like this. This was an expensive project, and it really helped to make it happen by having the availability of the funding. What Sarah and Cass did was to review all of the drawings, everything that was designed and built here, send that off to the National Park Service and the State Historic Preservation Office, SHPO, NPS, and get their okay. So everything that you see here, this whole built structure, was approved in advance by NPS and SHPO. So Sarah, thank you, and thank you to Cass, and thanks for giving me a little bit of time.
So we can give you a little extra time. Thank you to Susan, thank you to Walter for helping not only serve on this wonderful jury and make these wonderful selections, but also present the awards today. And thank you to Pier 57 for hosting us. And finally, a big congratulations to all of the honorees. This work, this awards program is different than many of the other ones that happen in New York. It is the one that recognizes civic projects, even if they're private, and that is an extraordinary thing. We don't tell the jury what to do, and they get lots of projects, and they get many of them, which are exclusively private projects. But they always, year after year, gravitate to these places that are our civic infrastructure, whether they're pubs, whether they're new private developments with great public space, or whether they are public projects delivering a purely public goal. This award is really special, and I hope you all feel it. The works of architecture and urban design we celebrate today should inspire you, and we look forward to all of the work that comes next from all of you who won awards, but also from many people who aren't in the room today. Please join us next door at the James Beard Foundation's platform for conversation and some tastings from Market 57 Sahadi's. Dumadra, Lolo's, and James Beard's good to go. Well, it could be very fun to enjoy a little casual conversation as well as these formal ones. Thank you for coming.